Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Merlin, and welcome back to King Arthur Legends Rise. And also a welcome to any of you that have actually joined me for the first time, or have joined the game since the global launch 2 days ago for the first time. As along with many of my content creator colleagues, there will be lots of new videos coming out across the board, giving you tips and hints on how to progress your game. And I don't claim to be infallible, so of course some of the stuff I provide may not be the same as others. I hope that basically whatever I do provide for you, if you are new to the game, will help you get through at least the early stages and then take you from there. There have been a couple of other videos that I have released recently, so by all means, you know, for those new to the game, please do have a look at them. They are kind of like an ongoing process in the sense that this series of videos are designed to be ongoing, as if it was an ongoing game rather than a let's play series or a hints and tips series. So you'll probably find, like with lots of other things like Marvel Strike Force and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Raid Legends, and I could go on, that some content creators concentrate on that and then they kind of do what they call the dailies and things like that. And this is what I'll be looking at doing for this particular game as we move forward for you. So again, welcome. So let's crack on into this. So apologies for those that have already been in the game in early access, so you may want to kind of just skip the initial part of this. But for those that are new to the game, what is the game? It is a hero collector. It is basically, as it says on the tin, it's about King Arthur and Legends Rise. You will collect heroes as you go along. So your list of heroes, for example, will appear at the bottom here, and basically you can kind of upgrade as applicable. You'll have 4 levels of hero. You have common, uncommon, rare and legendary, and within that you will also have different classes. So you've got your attack, support, defense and control. You have elementals, so you've got flame, frost and storm, and other tags that will become apparent as you go along. Each one obviously has its own kind of way of processing in the how the game plays, and obviously to find out more information, you just click on the individual item themselves, and they tell you a bit more what to help you through. So basically, by now, hopefully you have done the initial starting point on quests, and you'll be in a position where you'll see what's in front of me, at my screen at the moment, in the sense that obviously you have buildings that will build up as you go through your levels. Of course, if you're new to the game, you won't have a lot of these so far. You definitely won't have these over here until you've passed at least level 9 on the story. But again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. I'm going to let you kind of focus on that yourself. All I will say to begin with, to help you, to get you started, is that with regards to your heroes, is being able to upgrade them with regards to leveling up. So let's go to leveling up a minute. Let's pick one that's just going to be away from her. Alright, okay, let's stick with her because she is coming up first of all. Morgan. Oh, by the way, Morgan is probably one of the best, currently the best characters in the game to build up. So make sure you do build them up as much as possible. There are others as well that will become apparent as the game progresses, but she is definitely one, and she's one you get for free. And I'll just briefly cover that on the summons page in a moment. So you will have, obviously here you can level up, so you can hero with your potions. Obviously she's maxed at the moment, so I can't go any further until I actually upgrade her to the next level. You also have, will get advance, which means you advance your stars. So you get 10 levels, then you have to advance. Another 10 levels and so on, so you know each stage you have to advance. Awaken again will come later, so you'll be able to awaken and get these purple stars, and chivalry is again it helps to increase the stats. With your equipment, you have, like with a lot of hero games, you have items to put onto the character, and they will then benefit the stats accordingly. So for example here, with regards to Morgan, she has a 10 grand HP. And then each of these items or levels of items, so for example I think so Vigor is one of the hardest sets to get together, which is why you probably see a lot of early access players have already done some with regards to this. But either way, the situation is that each item will generate a stat which will help you. So for example with this particular helmet, The critical damage status damage has gone up by nearly 1%, so the overall figure then obviously affects accordingly. You've got accuracy, resistance, vigor charges. Vigor is the charges that you will use in combat game, and then obviously your figures are accordingly moving up. So as you increase, you know, the levels of across the board, not just with equipment, but across the board. Same will come with relics, and things like relic improvements will come along. I'm not there yet, so I've only been playing this for about a week, about a fortnight. So again, I'm nowhere near a lot of people. They've been playing for about a month or 6 weeks, but it's kind of like one of those things that you will catch up as you go along. So I rabbited on a bit for the time being. Let's crack on into the next part, and that's looking at, you know, every menu has its red dots when they come up. So when you log on for the first time, you'll have your daily injection, and it's just basically just clicking the dots and collecting what you need. So log in, for example, and this is the summon page. And if you're a new player to this, you will also see a rise up summon, which is where you will get Morgan. As soon as you can do that, the better. You'll get her, then I'll do that. The rate up ones are currently specials. They are special, so you only got special summon. It's not this. It's to do with there is an event going on for Guinevere, and this is because of the global launch. So again, when you do your summons, you should, as you progress through, you will get things like helmets sort of thing, or symbols, which will be used the currency for the relevant item. So you'll get a relevant symbol to summon an individual. Until such point you do that, you then need to use your jewels, which is okay, but you don't really want to make a habit of it. Where else we got training camp again. So just go, you know, again you'll see this when you click on them, and of course then the restricted area is your dungeons. So basically you're going into your dungeons and basically trying to gain items that you need. So for example, this particular character is where you get your potions from, and potions is needed to upgrade your character. So let's just take, for example, let's pick a character that's low. I know I need to upgrade at some point. This one here. Go into hero, power up, and literally level 1 uses some of your potions. Obviously they range from common up to legendary, and of course then one legendary is the equivalent of, say, I don't know, maybe 100 uncommon. Level up and away you go. And of course gold plays a part as well, because not only you got to do the potion, you've got to do gold as well. You will also be looking, as a new player, or anybody that's been watching my videos will see that originally you will start with a level 1 castle, a level 1 market, and a level 1 forge, and you'll be saying, well, hang on, how have you now got level 2, 3 and 5? Once you get to the story level 9, so let's just go to the story, main story. Once you get to level 9, you complete level 9, it doesn't have to be 3 stars, but once you complete level 9, then basically you will unlock the stonemason. The stonemason then is required to upgrade your buildings along with the steel mill and the lumber mill. So I'm going to collect them so I can start continuing building again. These items will be needed to make sure that you do upgrade, and obviously the more you upgrade your castle, the more you can upgrade your other items as well. Eventually you'll come to arena, or Colosseum as they call it, and again, if you've been playing Hero Collector games before, this is no different. It's a PvP. You play against somebody else in the arena. If you're new to the concept of hero collecting and arena, then literally, as I just said, you let's just say, for example, let's just pick one. We'll go and duel against this one. Let's go there and we'll just duel and let that duel away. I've left it on auto, so you just see it as on auto. Not faring too well at the moment, but that's fine. We'll get there hopefully. But although it's on auto, you do have the ability to select one individual at a time. So which apart from obviously AoE attacks, which does all of them. Once hopefully Morgan's gone, that'll certainly help. Yeah, I can concentrate on my put on their healer. Now this is the same with any combat you do, whether it's arena or when you're doing the storylines. This is how it will play out. It's a you have a maximum of 4 characters on your side. They may have more as they go along, but generally it's 4. And you can see the progress on the left hand side of the screen on whose turn it is. And there are other things that you can do, so you can change obviously to not have auto, you can change the speed. I would say is the way to plan this. Obviously, with each character, you get 3 different relics, as we've said. The frost, the fire, flame, and the storm relics. You can choose obviously which suits you, and if you've got the relic on the character, you can choose which one is beneficial for you, and it works on a triangle basis. So, flame is stronger against storm, storm is stronger against frost, and frost is stronger against flame. So that sort of process. Anyway, we're there. And that basically, and I would suggest you do as you know, I mean, I do about 4 or 5 of these a day, so I suggest you do as many as you can with these where possible. You can also refresh 3 times in a day without using any gems to try and get lower teams against. So yeah, so basically this is kind of like how you progress. You just literally pick up the red dots where possible. I mean, it tells you what you need to know. I'd always select the gem free package. I'd also, as well, where needed to use stamina. You know, it's a bit like, you know, for example, if I use 50 now, you can just keep replenishing your stamina and just keep doing that. And then it goes up in price as well, and so on. Other offers may appear. So like obviously you got costed offers. You also have offers which involve gems, but don't always just go straight to them. Sometimes they may prove beneficial, but sometimes, a lot of the time they don't, because they look good, because they'll give you this, this, and this. But when you actually break it down, it doesn't actually always pan out that way, and you're better saving your gems for other reasons. You have the overall kind of page, which kind of puts it all under one roof in regards to the red dots. So basically, although it's showing over here, it's also going to show here. So the Colosseum, obviously there's some rewards for me to collect. I think that's the daily rewards. I finished 4th on the day yesterday, so I get 400 coins. I was 3rd when I last looked, but there we go, never mind. Your guides, again you have a claim all button if you need to as well. And again, apologies for those that have been following me already and have already done all this. I'm just kind of helping, I'm just wanting to kind of just show those new to the game first, and then obviously we can move forward together on different things, and we'll do a free summon while we're at it. So when you do your summon, you get an animation. Now what I will say is that you can usually tell what type of character you're getting by the colour of the smoke, and the 2 to look out for are the dark blue and the goldy colours, and that's the rare and legendary characters. If they don't appear like that, you're more likely to get a common or an uncommon character. In this case, it was a common character. I'm not going to summon any more at the moment because I'll do the rest of it later on. But basically, the whole point is to try and obviously get those characters you haven't already got. But if you do get a duplicate character, it appears in your shards section here. And you can exchange those shards and then obviously trade up for stones, which will then help your existing characters progress their chivalry. Or their relics, depending on obviously how if you've got a character that's got 2 out of 3 relics, then you can use your currency at that basis. Now, what I would say in this situation is, don't worry about this at the moment. Do not kind of worry about this. Maybe the relics, but not so much on the and only the commons as well, because basically the common ones, you will rarely use a common hero unless it's a specific reason. There are a couple of elements I know of that you do need to use specific ones, and that's when you go into the adventure. So you complete the chapter in the main story, you can then go back on what they call adventure, and then go deeper into that storyline and pick up items that you wouldn't have picked up in the storyline on that basis. But if you do, so for example, let's just do this one. If you do this, you can just literally exchange the chart, and it turns into currency. So give me 1 coin, and that appears up here. I would only literally do these later on if you, so for example, with regards to Arthur, I would only do Arthur if all the chivalry had been done. Because if you do get duplicates, as I said, so let's just go to Arthur. And we go to his info, and we go to chivalry. Basically, this is where they appear. So you either get the shield, you either get the icons there, or you get the stones, and then you can build up. And as soon as you max up your chivalry for a character, so basically, once I've done as much as I can, then you can then sell the shards because you don't need them anymore for this particular person. Only on legendary, uncommon and rare are they allocated to an individual. On the other ones, they're generally allocated to an actual to the actual common as a whole. But I've not really investigated common. So that's pretty much the basic starting point of where the game will begin. And again, you will go through the process of the story. You will start at the beginning, and you will do chapter 1 right through accordingly. And there's no harm in getting 1-2 stars to begin with. You can always go back over them later. So for example, if I go to chapter 9, which I've just finished, there's a lot of these that have only got 2 or 1 stars, and that's because I wasn't able to do it in the number of turns, or I didn't have the right characters, or whatever the case, or I lost the character in mid-game on that particular event. And even if you lose the character in a combat, they don't go forever. They just in the storyline they come back again, but you just basically lose them for the remaining of the battle. I'm on chapter 10 now, but this is a lot more difficult. But I want to get to complete chapter 10, because until you finish all your chapters on normal, you cannot proceed to the next 2. But the thing is, with hard, for example, if I come out of it altogether, I cannot open the Relic Forge until I've completed the second story in hard mode, and then you can start powering up your relics from what they are at the moment. But I can't do that until I've completed the main story, and the main story issue is that there's a big character then called Crom Crutch, who's like a serpent, and he is absolutely horrendous to get past. He's in one of the events at the moment. He's actually in this event, so he's in the Guinevere event. So if you go to, say for example here, let's go in here. We'll give it a go. We'll show basically what the situation is. I've completed the first 9 chapters of this, and we'll just go into chapter 10. And he is the main character in there, and he is a frost. So you would look to put in your storm. So, for example, let's take out Merlin and put in Tristan, because he's a storm character. And the reason why I'm not believing Merlin in is Merlin hasn't got Storm Relic. Tristan, I've managed to get all 3 relics, so I can utilise him quite a lot. Arthur's got 2 relics. Oh, put Arthur back in. And again, I'll put him under Storm. He's got 2 relics to choose from. Sarah, who's one of your healers, she's got 2 to choose from as well. So, and Morgan I really need to keep in place because of the purpose of what we're doing. Now you can see here, it says here that there's like we're 13,000 in power, this guy's only 10. He will drop a couple of add-ons at one point or another, but they don't appear. But he has this one thing called, is a passive, which is basically, I think it's in one of these. It's basically, inflicts out of battle bounds on 3 random enemies. So basically, you're fighting away, and if this takes place, then basically you lose 3 characters off the board, not out of the game, not out of the battle, but off the board. You then have to hopefully he then impacts a return to battle with one of your enemies as you go along. But the problem is, if you then have lost someone as well, or if he does it twice, you will then lose. So you've got to try and stop that to happen. So basically, yeah. So again, you've got to try and stop him from doing this. But it is quite, it's very difficult unless you've got characters that will potentially stop him from doing it. So let's just give it a go. I've not been able to get past this stage at the moment. Oh, I don't want it on tape. I want to do it on manual. Take that off of there. Right, so we've got on manual. Okay. So let's have a look and see what we've got. So we look at Morgan's, for example. We attacks twice. Sorry, she attacks twice with a 40% chance to inflict sleep. It basically means that no action can be taken during the turn and increases damage hit removed upon being hit. So basically, although you inflict the sleep on the guy, if your next character then hits them, the sleep's done, so it's pointless. So let's just do the second one instead. And this is where the Vigor comes in at the bottom. You use a Vigor across your team for that purpose. So unfortunately I cannot use a health potion for Sarah because I've only got one Vigor available. Right, so he's now going to chuck out 2 characters. But we want to try and concentrate on this guy, but it is quite difficult to do so. So I'm just going to have a look and see. I don't want to utilise the 3 without being able to do it. He's got protection. Protection. No, he hasn't got protection, so it's not going to make a difference. So we'll do the second one instead. And Arthur, we're going to speed up attack. The idea is to keep this bar down as much as possible, but it is difficult to keep the gauge down. And let's try this one again. Do number 2 again for Morgan. There we go. So he's just taken 3 of my characters with the gluttony. So what we need to do now is try and get that back. Has he got protection on there again? Doesn't look like he has. So actually, we will use it this time because he's the only character in place now, and I need them to come back. Now I'm trying to ignore these 2 as much as possible because I don't think they make a difference to the overall. Well, I'm certain they don't make a difference to the overall situation. Alright, so he should chuck back one of my characters. No, he hasn't. He's eating me instead. There you go. So straight away, because he was able to use his skill 1, then basically he just ate me. So it is quite difficult to get past that one. It's just trying to find a character that will nullify. Merlin will do Frost Remains, which should freeze him, but it doesn't always work. Let's just try it with Merlin. So let's just take out Morgan. I'm reluctant to do so, but we'll take out Morgan, and we're going to put Merlin back in his play in there instead. And we'll do the same again. We'll start the battle off. But Merlin has what we call Frozen Remains, and he's also if you get speed on him, he's the first person to go. And it's on level 2, it's a 100% chance to inflict Frozen Remains. Frozen Remains, when hit, grants damage decrease to the attacker for 1 turn, and it grants immunity to the attacker for 2 turns, and obviously the chance to recharge the attacker's gauge but by 30%. So let's put that in. Now, because of his relic stage, he is the same relic, so he doesn't deliver as much damage, but he should, hopefully, with this up here. So he's got Frozen Remains, so I'm hoping. So let's just see what's on here. So that and that one. Yeah, so basically hits the enemy 3 times. Each hit deals additional damage if the target's element is frost, which it is. So we're going to use that. Now these little markers at the top here launch a animation, and usually then kind of launches as a gauge as well. So let's have a look and see what we've got here. This guy's got protection. That's what he's been doing the same as we were before, weren't we? So let's try and look to not use Right, let's use this one instead. And this is basically heals but removes a debuff. None of my characters have got debuffs on at the moment, so there's no red ones on. And again, heals our allies but also increases their defense by 1 turn. But that won't stop him if he's going to kind of eat you up anyway. Here he goes. Right, so again we'll do Frozen Remains. And we'll do the same again with this guy, we'll do that one. So that there, and we will do that. So it's taken through the second animation. Now he's still stuck on Frozen Remains at the moment, which is good, but he will release that shortly and he'll be looking to eat. So we've got no real chance to kind of do it. He's got no debuffs on him there, look. Here he goes. He's going to... Oh, he isn't. Wow. Okay, that's kind of been a positive. So we want to save up Merlin. Merlin's next, so we'll just use 1 Vigor. And then we'll use Frozen Remains again. So he should now have a debuff of Frozen Remains, but also his attack speed is reduced. So we can use Arthur to do his damage. And he's just eaten 3 of mine. Straight away. We'll just have to continue doing this and hope he doesn't do it again. So we've now got we've managed to get Tristan back now. So again, they got Frozen there as well. And so again, it gains us attack speed, so I'll just do that. So ideally we could get Sarah back, but I don't think I'm going to get her back anytime soon. He's more likely to eat us two before he returns Sarah. In the meantime, we'll just keep doing what we can. So look, straight away his bar's literally increased. I'm hoping Frozen Remains will prevent him from doing it and just do that. Unfortunately Merlin's down to virtually next to nothing now, so we are literally hanging on now. I might get 1 more Frozen Remains out of him. Yeah, he'll be gone now. So we are now reliant on hopefully standing up and hopefully him returning another one of my characters. This is the closest I've got so far. Table manners. And no. He uses level 1, he uses skill 1. So that's the closest I've got to him so far. So I think it gets to the point to get past him, you would need your stats to be in the heading towards 60. So you've got more damage that you can deal with him early on. Okay, so let's have a look and see what else we can do. What the thing is about this game, for those who have been following the videos I've done already, and for those that are new, it is a grind. It is a lot to do grind-wise. You will end up putting a lot of it on auto, so that you can get your characters up. At the moment, for example, the favor dungeon I've managed to get to, and all the favor dungeons are unlocked. Now, what is favor dungeon? Favor dungeon gives you the purple stars, as I mentioned before, over the yellow ones. Although they're all open at the moment, they're only all open because they were new, released to me. After the time is up, which will be, because it was a 4-day thing, after the 4 days are up, which in 10 hours they will be, they will open one at a time. So this will disappear. So at the moment, it unlocks all favourite dungeons for a period of time based on when the favourite dungeons were unlocked. One favourite dungeon full access, one dungeon will unlock according to the day of the week, and then on the 7th day, all 6 were open. So again, much like most Hero Collector games, you will find that basically they will only open on certain days. But you can see who you want. So for example, in here, when it comes to Steed, I've got Merlin, I've got Bors, Ban, Anguish, Cormac, and then a bunch of uncommons. I think that's Hector, which you will use early on. Tristan is a stag along with Kate. Kate's another one that you want to get up as soon as you can. This character here is a character you will need in the adventure story eventually. Tristan and Isolde will work together pretty much, as that is the mythological lore of the game. Crow is Gillian's another good character to have. She's one of the best healers in the game. In fact, pretty much once you've built her up, she's the best healer in the game at the moment. This guy, so this one basically these haven't been unlocked. So that's Guinevere, who's a legendary. And this is part of the campaign, and that I think is Claudius. The other two, I believe. Oh no, there's another legendary there. Who's that one? Sergius. So yeah. Again, as you said, Arthur's the bull, along with Clementine, and that's Gawain. So we'll get Gawain if you can. This guy, he's an uncommon, but he's actually well used a lot at the moment, especially in one of the other dungeons. So you want to get him built up, which is what I've done. I built him up. He's level 50, I believe now, with a purple star rather, as well. So literally what you do with this is you just pick one. So let's go with who do I want to increase at the moment? Probably Arthur. So let's go, not Arthur, Merlin. So that's Steed. Let's go into Steed. You can see I've done a couple of levels so far. Level 3 is already 51, which is going to make it very difficult. But you do start getting your different level statues. So these are statues that go towards the unlocking of Awakening. So let's just say for the purpose of this situation, we're not going to go on level 1 because it only gives you 2. We'll go on level 2. Then again, here's a frost icon there. We'll look at his team. There's a mixture, so you want to do a mixture in regards to this. So I don't, and you're obviously limited to who you can use. You can only use the characters that need the item, so that's the only people that you can use. So what I've got in place at the moment is more than what I need. We're going to do a repeat battle. So you do a repeat battle, and I'm going to take it down to 3. And obviously what happens is that the stamina comes off accordingly, and then it'll just, and I'm going to leave it on auto, so you can see for yourself what's going to happen. And this is the point I was saying about being a grind. If you do this manually, you then go, oh, what should I do? What should I do? But after a while, because the levels are fairly lowish, you can just literally let it run. The one thing about this Hero Collector game that I've not found with some of the others is although you don't need to use the common characters, you do need to have a broad roster when it comes to using uncommon and rare, especially for things like this. So I'm just going to let this run through. I'm reluctant to build up uncommon heroes too much in regards to the fact being is that you need your resources across the board. So the bigger characters you want, like the rares, are the ones you really want to build up. But the thing is, for things like this, if you don't build them up, you can't go very high in the levels. So it's a kind of like a situation where a broad roster will play a part in this game. Two battles down, one to go. And as you can see, there's a little alert came in the corner. Those are the that this will appear in when you go back into the main menu in a minute. You'll see that we can collect as we've hit certain stages of the day, or your day. I might call it your dailies or your weeklies. So what I used to call it when I used to do Marvel Strike Force. Okay, so that's the end of the 3 battles. So what happens is that when it finishes, it tells you a summary of obviously what you've got over all 3 battles. You can see it also tells you what experience you've gained. So you do gain experience on most levels unless you're maxed out, which Merlin is. And we'll come out of there altogether. And again, if you, as I said before, basically you will now be able to collect items from the power-up. So here we go, I've collected the fact we've done 2 dungeons today. And then there was something else as well. I think it was the monster. Oh, the inventory. Oh, this is where basically you got 5 areas of inventory. You've got your armor, you've got your trinkets, you've got your belt, you've got your potions and statues and all that sort of jazz. And also that in itself, I don't know what it is yet. We haven't actually put anything in there yet, so that will be something else eventually. We'll go in there. Let's go into the monster event. So this is the event that happens like once, I think it's once a week or once a fortnight, something like that. I'm currently up the top there. But that there'll be people that will overtake me towards the end. They've only just started doing this. There'll be people that, and I think what it is, you'll split into, I would imagine, into groups of something like, yeah, groups of, well, this is 22 in this section, so you will be split into certain sections because there's damn sight more than 22 people playing this game. And again, as you said, you collect your rewards accordingly. There's a stamina event going on at the moment, so again, I think I've collected, I'm about a third of the way through after 2 days, so yeah, I haven't done much in the way today on that. And then obviously for those who have been playing the game before, a lot of people are staying away of these because basically they've done them already. I might do these 2 in a minute later on, purely on the grounds being is that's a nice 4-star equipment for a legendary, so that could come in handy. This is just stamina, just 1 box of 50. It's handy, but it's not something I'm going to bounce up and down about. And then you've got other things here which I can't go into Master of Death yet. I haven't gone into main story, and I can't go into Relic of Advancement either yet. And then obviously this as well. Okay, so just a couple more things before we go. So we've just been able to get some statues. So let's try, and what we're doing, that was a steed, wasn't it? Steed statue. So that brings us all here. So let's just see who we can upgrade in regard to Awaken. So yeah, we've only got 16. I want to do Merlin first before I do anybody else. So I'm reluctant to do anybody else, although the availability is there to do other people. In fact, hang on, let's go into the, come out of there. Try again. Let's go into here, sort, and go into the steed. Although I can do ban or boars and take 10 away, I'd rather do Merlin first and then do the others. So again, I will need to go back in and try and get some more common steed statues to get the characters done. As we've said, you will find, I mean, for example, in this we've got, so was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got 10 characters for steed. Although we're not going to probably need it for these 2, maybe these 3, but definitely with the rest of them we'll probably need them. So, and the same goes when it comes to advancing this. You know, there's a dungeon, as I said to you earlier on, that gives you potions. You have to just grind and grind and grind. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. It is a kind of a basic overview or review for those who are starting afresh. And for those that have obviously been following me already, hopefully you're moving on quite nicely with regards to this, so we can see how you get on from there. Any comments you want to make regarding how the progress you're doing, more than welcome to put on there in the comment section below. And as always, if you like, then please do click the like and subscribe, and then obviously that'd be grateful. It does help the channel, as we all do say. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.